we started, Solomon told me that on the 5th month that we will start harvesting. I have visited the place a couple of times and I have seen the fishes getting bigger and bigger. I was happy because I saw it with my own eyes. Getting to the time of harvest, it kept on diminishing, and
I was the one that set up that fish farm for him. I made sure the water system and the pond, everything is working well, Your Honor.
If everything was working well, then why are you here?
Honestly, Your Honor, I don't know why my uncle brought me here.
It was a big loss. Oh! God of Shadrach! Meshach and Abednego, come and help me!
A few months later, when you started perceiving aroma of fish coming from Mr. Solomon's kitchen, aroma of fish, Your Honor, it is so enticing. The aroma go, Olegon, it is the one that can snatch someone's husband. Oh, well, you know, as woman to woman, I knew how.
So this is how Solomon and the wife, they've been eating my fish.
Hey, my people, how na day of everywhere the potpourri. Alright, now I don't come again with another story. This one, na uncle wey carry nephew come cut. Based on say the nephew run down the business where he give and make him manage. Business where they run in millions. He no fit bear and now he carry the case come inside court with Judge Kpako for solution. Make we sit down and see as this case go.
All arise for the presiding Judge Kpako. Your Honor.
You may have your seat. Wow, Vincent, you're looking very sharp.
Thank you.
I love the new hairdo.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. Oh, that's good also. Good, you heed to my advice.
Thank you.
All right, so what case is before me today?
Your Honor, the case before us is the case number 015 between Mr. Ebenezer Okoli and Mr. Solomon Okoli. All parties in the matters have taken their oaths, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Vincent, you know, the excitement, they're all party in the matter. Yeah, they're all party.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Beautiful. There's no problem. Okay. Okay, the case before me is that of Mr. Ebenezer Okoli, who has brought his nephew to court, Solomon Okoli. He said he employed him as his farm manager in his fishery business. And his nephew, Mr. Solomon Okoli, has run down his business and he has suffered a loss to the tune of 4 million naira, which he is asking the court to compel Mr. Solomon to pay him. So this is the case before us. So we will find out what happened. So, Mr. Ebenezer Okoli, you brought your nephew to court.
Yes, Your Honor.
So please, tell us what happened between both of you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Solomon here is my late brother's son. When he died, I made sure that I provided for Solomon and his mother and even his siblings. Solomon got admission into the university. He was almost going to drop out from the university because of his inability to pay his school fees. And I came through for him and paid the school fees. That is not all. Even all the things that he needs to go to school, I made sure I provided everything. Not just for him alone, also for his siblings. I was taking care of them.
So what happened to your relationship in respect of the fishery business?
Solomon Solomon wrecked my fish business. I am a retired civil servant. And before I retired, Solomon came up with ideas that looks very interesting. And I bought into it. But Solomon wrecked me my hard-earned retirement money. Solomon wrecked me.
Okoli, please calm down. Mr. Okoli, but why did you employ him as your farm manager? Why not someone else?
Your Honor, Solomon is a criminal, a 419. He tricked me into that business. Your Honor, Solomon told me that he has experience in the business. Towards my retirement, we discussed a lot. He came to me about this business and he brought the plan, everything. And I believed him. And then, because he is my nephew, there was no other person I would have trusted, if not Solomon, who also came up with the idea. That was why I handed the business to him, not knowing that Solomon has another plan to ruin me.
So, what experience did he say he has in respect of, should I say, fish farming?
Actually, Your Honor, he told me that he studied fishery, that he even worked in a fish farm during his youth service. That was what he told me.
Just that did he study it in the university or privately, any other thing?
And also he said he studied zoology.
Go on.
And in that zoology also, they taught them about fishery. So he has experiences according to him. And because he is my nephew, whom I took as a son, I believed him. He said fishery business is one of the businesses that he has been thinking of, that has been in his mind for a very long time. That it is a kind of business that if we go into it, that money will be coming from it. That is a very lucrative business. I fell for it because as a retired civil servant, I need sources of income. I didn't know that Solomon has another motive to ruin me down. I haven't done anything to Solomon.
So you fell for the business, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead. So what happened?
In 2022, when I retired, Solomon came to me and brought this idea, and I bought into it. And after that, we started looking for a place where we will start up the business. I got a land somewhere at Ikorodu side, and we started the project. I was the one that employed people that sunk the borehole, built the pond, and installed all the necessary things that is needed in that business. I spent money. Solomon did not bring 1 kobo, of which I wasn't expecting it from him.
Okay. So he became your manager. He was managing your fishery business, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Did you discuss payment with him, or as a family member he was to do it free of charge?
Actually, when we were drawing the plans of this business, I told him that I would give him 20% from this business. 20%! Who does that? This is because I took him as my own son, and I want him to enjoy in the success of this business. That was why I gave him that. He wasn't working for free.
What went on after then?
Your Honor, I spent almost 30 million naira, my retirement money. I spent all that money and Solomon wrecked the business.
So what kind of fish were you rearing there?
Actually, Solomon told me that we should begin with catfish. That as soon as the business starts blooming and making wave, that we will now start investing in other type of fish.
Go on.
Solomon wrecked the business. When we started, Solomon told me that on the 5th month that we will start harvesting. I have visited the place a couple of times and I have seen the fishes getting bigger and bigger. I was happy. I was happy because I saw it with my own eyes. Getting to the time of harvest, it kept on diminishing, and I was so confused. Something that I invested initially for the first production, 5 million, when we were about to sell, we could only sell 2 million. And my 3 million naira for the first production went down the drain.
That means your first outing in business was a loss.
It was a big loss. Oh, God of Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego, come and help me.
Please, Mr. Okoli. Please, Mr. Okoli. I truly feel your pain, but I need to take your testimony so that we'll progress with the case. So, what happened next?
I went to meet Solomon, and he told me that is how the business of fishing, that you will encounter loss first, second. He didn't explain it initially. He said in this type of business that sometimes you can suffer loss. Solomon assured me that if I invest again, we will make profits this time. And I believed him again. I invested 7 million naira. 7 million. We bought thousands of fingerlings, feedings, and everything to make sure that this time it will be a success.
Did you try to find out what happened to your first production before starting a new one?
Solomon told me that the reason for the first loss in our production was because the fishes were eating themselves. And I believed him also.
So, did you ask an expert advice on this?
No, sir. In fact, that was a terrible mistake that I made. I never knew that Solomon was the one eating my fish. Solomon is the devourer, the cankerworm that has been eating my fish.
So what happened with this new production you invested in?
Sir, it was the same story. Getting to the 4th month, the fish started diminishing.
Again. Okay, I understand. So, continue, Mr. Ebenezer. What is the outcome of this same one now?
Your Honor, after all this pressure, I noticed that my blood pressure started rising and rising. It was God that saved me that I didn't have an attack. Solomon, my retirement money. This useless boy, Solomon, wants to kill me before my time, but he will not succeed.
Okay, go ahead, continue with your testimony.
Out of the 7 million naira I invested in this business, we could only sell 3 million. And we lost 4 million naira, my hard-earned retirement money, going down the drain. Solomon, this foolish boy wants to ruin my life. It was God that saved me. I almost got hypertension. Solomon, what on earth did I do to you? Why have you chosen to pay me back like this?
Mr. Okoli, from your testimony so far, you are claiming the principal sum of 4 million naira, right?
That is what I am asking for. The other ones can go. I am not interested in that one. Let him just pay me back the 4 million naira. My hard-earned retirement money. He should pay me back. Otherwise, I will invoke the ancestors of my forefathers on you.
Mr. Okoli, you know you are in court. I don't want you can't threaten somebody in the court with, if you knew the ancestors in your village will provide a solution, you wouldn't have brought the matter to my court.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. You should just pay me my 4 million naira.
Okay, but earlier, you asked the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to intervene in this matter. So, why are you calling the ancestors of your village? Or do you want to confuse me?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Just that this boy, Solo, this boy has really dealt with me seriously.
Okay. That's okay, Mr. Okoli. I think I've heard enough from you. I need to hear from Mr. Solomon now. Mr. Solomon, you have heard everything your uncle has said concerning your managing of his business. So, what do you have to say?
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, it is true that I introduced this fish farming business to my uncle, but I never stole his fish. I was the one that set up that fish farm for him. I made sure the water system and the pond, everything is working well, Your Honor.
If everything was working well, then why are you here?
Honestly, Your Honor, I don't know why my uncle brought me here. Because my uncle should be very grateful to me. Yes, he should be very thankful because I know what I did for him. I saved money for him and made him set up that fish farm at a minimal cost. If not for me, he would have spent 100 million plus to set up that fish farm. And it wouldn't be as good as the one I helped him in doing.
Really?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, I know what I went through to set up that fish farm. I was there to make sure all the workers and the people there did a good job. I stayed there more than a week. Plus, I didn't even visit my family. Your Honor, I know what I passed through. So my uncle here should be grateful to me. I'm not reporting me to the court.
Now, we are not talking about the building of the fish farm. That is not what your uncle brought you here for. It is his loss of his 4 million naira. So what do you have to say about that?
No, Your Honor. I never stole his fish. Your Honor. I can never do that to him. No, I'm a good manager. In fact, I did my best, even though we had some challenges, Your Honor.
But did you make a loss in the production that you are saying? Yes or no?
Yes.
Now, with what you are saying, so how much did you lose?
I can't really...
Was it around 3 million?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Now, what about the second production?
We made losses But I can explain. Because it's part of the business. It's how it goes in the business. Your Honor. I told him.
Go ahead. Explain what?
It's normal in the business, Your Honor. I told him, once you are starting up a fish farm for the very first time, you should be expecting some losses in the first to, fifth production before you can, make some profit. And by that time, you will recover your losses, Your Honor. I told him all this.
He said he told you to expect.
Your Honor, that is a big fat lie from this filthy mouth. He didn't tell me anything like this.
Now, do you have any evidence to substantiate that you told your uncle that he should expect a loss?
Yeah, sure. I kind of get it.
Mr. Vincent, can we get that proof from him? Well, this looks like a proof of an understanding, but I guess this must have been printed from somewhere in Oluwole, because I can't see. I see some writings by the side of the printed, and there is no signature either from you or from your uncle. So I want to say this evidence is not tenable.
Your Honor, he read it and he accepted.
Now, if he had accepted it, I repeat that his signature is not here. It's not here. Oh, Mr. Okoli, do you sign elsewhere?
I did not sign anything, Your Honor.
Mr. Ebenezer, do you have any evidence to prove that Mr. Solomon, your nephew here, has been stealing your fish, or in your time diminishing your fish?
Thank you, sir. It was my wife's former colleague where they used to work that told us how Solomon and his wife have been enjoying my fish and ruining my business. She was the one that told us everything.
Now, do you have proof?
Yes, she's in court. Madam Bike is in court.
Oh, she's here?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Did anybody take oath before my arrival?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is she in court?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, fetch her.
Madam Abike? Madam Abike?
Yes, I'm here.
Please come forward.
Okay.
Come this way.
Okay, madam, kindly introduce yourself to this honorable court.
Thank you, Your Honor. My name is Mrs. Abike Folari, and I live in the same house as Mr. Solomon. In fact, his flat is next to mine. And Mr. Ebenezer's wife used to, in fact, we worked at the same company before in the past, so we've known each other before. We worked at Flour Mills Limited.
Okay. Mr. Ebenezer Okoli here said you were the one that told him that Mr. Solomon has been stealing his fish.
That's not right, Your Honor. I didn't say Mr. Solomon was stealing his fish. And I never, in fact, I didn't know whether he was stealing the fish. I only told Mr. Ebenezer what I saw in the compound.
Okay. So, what did you see in the compound that is so material to this case?
Some months ago, in fact, it's been long ago. That was January last year. I saw Mr. Ebenezer and his wife, Patience entering into our compound, and I recognized that she recognized me too. Like as I said earlier, we had worked at the same company before. So we recognized ourselves and we started talking.
Okay. Did she know that you lived in that house?
Not at all, Your Honor. So just a coincidence. She said her husband and she and her husband were passing by our neighborhood and he decided to pay Mr. Solomon a visit. That Mr. Solomon is her husband's nephew.
Okay. So you started discussing. Was Mr. Solomon aware of your discussion?
He wasn't there. He went into Mr. Solomon's flat. In fact, Mr. Solomon came out to take his uncle inside. Immediately he heard his voice. He came and greeted him and took him in. So it was just Patience and I that we were outside discussing.
So, what did you discuss about? Is it important to the case at hand?
Patience actually told me that that her husband was going to start a fishery business, and that Mr. Solomon here will be the farm manager. And I was happy for her.
Go ahead. So what happened?
A few months later, when he started perceiving aroma of fish coming from Mr. Solomon's kitchen.
Now, what do you mean by we?
We, I mean to say, all of us in the house, the co-tenants. So, this aroma of fish, Your Honor, it is so enticing. The aroma go, it is the one that can snatch someone's husband. Even one day, one evening like that, Daddy Dayo had to beg me to go and meet Mr. Solomon's wife to beg her for some of this pepper soup. Well, you know, as woman to woman, I knew how.
So this is how Solomon and the wife, they've been eating my fish. My unearned retirement money going down the drain. Solomon.
Mr. Okoli, please take it easy. I'm still taking the testimony of the witness. So who is this Daddy Dayo we are talking about?
Daddy Dayo is my husband.
Oh, your husband. Oh, please continue.
Not even up to how many months later, Mr. Solomon's wife came to tell us that she was not selling fish. Paraventure would want to buy and come to patronize her. She even showed us where her store, where she sells, is located. And we were going to patronize her.
Now, this fish that she was saying, did she tell you or did you ask her who supplies her this fish?
No, Your Honor. One day like that, I was at a shop buying fish. And I saw Mr. Solomon drove in with a truck, and the truck was filled with drums, these big drums, and he was offloading fish to the wife from the drums. That was when I remember that Patient told me that her husband was going to start a fish business and that Mr. Solomon would be the farm manager. Then I called her with the intention of being a distributor because I was interested in the fish business too. So that was when I called her, she sounded so surprised and she told me that she would call me back. She did call me back, but when she did, it was her husband that spoke to me. So him too sounded so surprised and said that he never knew Mr. Solomon was already selling the fish.
And you, Mr. Solomon, or Solo as you say, what you have done to your uncle, can you say it's something that is worthwhile, something that is good? Because the plaintiff has alleged that you have been stealing his fish. And from the witness here, we found out that you have used them in different forms. So what do you have to say about that?
Your Honor, it is not true. You see, my wife has been running that fish business even before I introduced the fish farming business to my uncle. It's my wife's business. I have nothing to do with it, Your Honor. So it's not true.
Well, if that's what you are saying, is your wife in court?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Vincent,
Your Honor.
is the wife on oath?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please, let her come up. I want to hear her testimony.
Mrs. Lillian! Mrs. Lillian!
Yes.
Please come to the talk.
Oh, God of my ancestors. Solomon and his wife have eaten my fish. Oh. My hard-earned money going down the drain. Oh, Solomon.
Mr. Okoli, please calm down. Calm down so that we can get to the bottom matter of this case. Okay, please, can you tell us who you are?
Okay. I'm Mrs. Lillian Okoli. I'm the wife of Mr. Solomon, yes, sir.
Interesting. You know, I said interesting. Do you know the meaning of Lillian?
No, sir, I didn't find out the meaning.
It's a Latin word. It means purity, godliness. Understand? Beautiful disposition. So what it means, bearing such name, Lillians are never associated with thieves, with dishonesty. And I know as you are here, you are going to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. God helping you. So, go ahead. So tell us. So what do you know about the case at hand?
Yeah. No.
Lillian, remember, calm down. You know the meaning of Lillian? It tells the truth, nothing but the truth. Give your honest opinion about what you know about this case at hand. I'm listening. How do you get the fish? I learned that you opened the shop. Who is the owner of the shop? You or your husband?
It's my husband. No, it's me. I'm the owner of the shop. I'm the owner of the business.
You said your husband owns it before now. Now you are saying you are the owner of the fish shop. Please, which of them is correct?
It belongs to the both of us. Yeah.
Now, this is what will happen. From henceforth, I want you to look directly into me and answer my questions. Is that okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, when did you open this fish shop?
I can't remember.
Hold on. Vincent,
Your Honor.
can you take Mr. Solomon to the audience stand? When I'm through and done with cross-examination of the wife, I will tell you when to bring him back, because it seems as if he's influencing the fact of our wife's testimony. Please, can you just do that? Thank you. Just order him out.
Please.
Now, Miss Ilya, when did you start selling fish in your shop?
I can't remember, sir. I don't know, sir.
Lillian, I will ask one more time. Who is your supplier? When did you open the fish shop? And who does it belong to? You, your husband? Say the truth. Remember, if you don't say the truth, do you know that you can go to jail?
I don't want to go to jail.
Now go ahead, tell the truth.
I'll say the truth.
Now go ahead.
I don't...
Go ahead. Answer the question, Lillian. Remember what you just said. Answer the question.
I'll say the truth. I'll say the truth, sir.
Now,
I'll say the truth.
put yourself together and remember the meaning of your name. Tell us the truth.
My husband, he used to get the fish from his place of work.
I guess those fish should come from the plaintiff's fish farm, Mr. Ebenezer Okoli, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm done with questioning you. So you may go back to your seat. So, Vincent,
Your Honor.
get that man the course for you and bring him there.
Mr. Solomon, please come to the door.
Now, Mr. Solomon, from what has transpired here, you have treated your uncle badly. He paid for your tuition in the higher institution. He even gave you not only a job to manage his fish business, he also made sure that 20% was ceded to you and you became a part owner of the business. So what has he done to you to warrant this kind of treatment?
Solomon, despite all I have done for you, Solomon, is this how you choose to pay me back? Solomon, after all I have done for you...
What have you done for me that other people have not done before? No, what? You had the opportunity to get me a job in the central bank, but you refused.
My God. Solomon, is this what you have to say?
Solomon, please be clear with what you have just said. What do you mean by that?
Your Honor, my uncle had the opportunity to get me a job in the central bank when they were recruiting new people, but he refused. Because during that time, he was working in the HR department and he had all the opportunity to add my name into the list. But he refused because I'm not his son.
Your Honor, I have explained this to Solomon times without number, that even though I work in the HR department, that I have no influence on whom the company will employ. Even my bosses in the management team, they can't even influence who will employ at that point in time because all employment comes from top politicians. Solomon, I explained how. Child, Solomon, so you have all this in your heart and you decide to pay me back like this.
Mr. Okoli, Mr. Solomon, I think from this case, the only thing I can deduce here and now is what I refer to as hidden grudge or grudges. Solomon, you had this grudge against your uncle that he never helped you into the banking day. But you have forgotten how he had helped you out of school. Well, the only thing I'll say is this. I have heard all testimonies from the witness, from the plaintiff and myself. Let's go for a break. When I return, I'll give my final judgment on this case.
Court, arise.
People get my shout. I don't blame people when they put family members for their businesses. Now, because of things like this, and now the pride and arrogance of the nephew for me on top person fish and money. But I don't even see as a wife, they fresh, they robust on top person money. My brother wicked, my brother stingy, my auntie know they help me. Now because of things like this, when they happen for the country now, see they hot so. Left for me now, instant lucky now go give this man for this kind of way he do so. Make we sit down here, judge final judgment on top this matter.
Court, arise.
You may have your seat. I haven't heard from the plaintiff, the defendant, and the witnesses in respect of how Mr. Solomon managed the fishing business of his uncle. I have come to this summary as my judgment on this case. I want to say, Mr. Solomon Okoli, you have not acted well. You have betrayed your uncle's trust and plotted to ruin his business. He stood up for you and your brothers, your family, not only when you are in school, but after you came out of school. He educated you even up to university level. And he gave you an opportunity to own part of his business. But the trust he reposed on you, you trusted. It is therefore very regrettable that you destroyed his business because of the grudge that you had hidden in your heart for years. This is really bad. And for you, Mr. Ebenezer Okoli, so I'm reading out my judgment. You don't have to involve, it's not all the time. Yes, you can employ family members, but there are times you can look elsewhere. Now, you can get competent people to manage your business by throwing open the employment, processes. Also, and before starting any business, you need to have some knowledge about it. Don't just hand everything to so-called experts who are working for you, but at the end of the day, they're actually working for themselves. If they know you don't have any idea of the business, they will probably take advantage of it and run your business aground. Lastly, always go for a second opinion if you are confronted with serious situation. Don't take the advice or opinion of one expert and you let go the others. Make a thorough decision. Instead, seek for further advice from experts so that it will enable you to make proper decision. When Solomon told you that the fish were eating themselves, you would have been able to discover it was a lie. Now, the plaintiff has been able to prove without reasonable doubt that the defendant, Mr. Solomon, ate and stole his fish to the tune of 4 million naira. The court is hereby awarding the plaintiff the sum of 4 million naira. This is the judgment for the plaintiff. I rise.
Court.
Judge don talk am. He go pay 4 million naira to him uncle for compensation as the uncle take want. But for me, the money too small. But wetin una think on top this matter? Make una put am down for the comment section. And as you dey do, no forget to subscribe, like and share this video. I go see una for the next video. Gracias.
Thanks for watching our videos. I hope you enjoyed them.
And please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our videos.
And I beg, make una no forget to turn on the notification button.
And don't forget to follow us on Inside Court with Judge Kpako on all social media handles. Thank you.
Order!